Before we get into this episode, Mike and I want to thank you for being part of this community. We absolutely love what we do with this podcast, and we think it's important to bring you valuable content by exploring unconventional lifestyles, experiences, and perspectives. We are continually looking to improve the listening experience, and we want to bring in some of your favorite guests. We have a favor to ask, and that is if you can follow wherever you watch or listen so we can continue improving the show. We are so grateful for your support. Now let's get into it. What's up, locals? It's Mike and Kenzie coming to you live from the 775. And do we have an episode for you? We are dressed in our best Bachelor and Bachelorette attire. Tis the season of weddings and Bachelor and Bachelorette parties. We are also at a new desk setup that Mr. Mike the Builder built for us. We got rid of our couch and our chair.
Yeah, the couch setup wasn't working because if you watch the other videos, our guests are just cranking their neck.
Yeah.
And it just looks uncomfortable. The couch kind of sucked, to be honest. It wasn't very comfortable. I was constantly like fidgeting and adjusting.
I don't know how you actually sat in that couch because I sat there. I think we tried to record an episode and I was sitting on that side and I was like, this is awful.
Yeah, no, the behind the scenes, in case people want to know, the secret to me sitting in that one position, I would lock my leg and then I'd put my bottom leg on the floor so that I wouldn't slide. So
yeah, I was sliding off.
Yeah, it was a pain in the ass. So
yeah, I mean,
couch, it's gone. No more.
It's a cool looking couch and I loved the color. It was exactly what we were going for with vibe aesthetic, but I definitely think sitting at a table is more comfortable for us and more comfortable for a guest.
Yeah, and there's so much
when we
space.
Have that. Yeah.
So much room for activities.
Oh my gosh, so much space. It's a beautiful piece of plywood that you put on top of this cabinet dresser.
It's polished, so it's semi-water resistant, in case anybody's wondering.
Yeah.
We have a spill. Oh no. But no, I'm happy with it. I cut a trapezoid out of a nice piece of wood, bought some stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and bolted it down to that so we have storage below.
Yeah, no, this is like the perfect multifunctional use piece of furniture because I'm also going to be working from home now. So now we can have both of our sides of this big ass table and record episodes. So I'm super excited about it.
I'm very excited about it. I did catch myself. This is like a sign of maturity for me.
Mm-hmm.
I caught myself telling my friends about how I was building this desk and giving them all the details that they didn't give a shit about.
Oh, yeah.
That's what old people do. And I realized like halfway through, like, oh, you don't give a shit about what I'm saying. This is interesting to me, but like building a desk is not crazy to anybody else.
Did you see their eyes just start to get glossy?
Glossed over, 1,000-yard stare. They were a nom all over again. I'm not going to steal this comedian's bit, but she had a great take on like when you're in conversation and it's boring with somebody. In comedy, we get the light, and that's how we know, like, okay, you have a minute left, get the fuck off the stage.
Right.
She was talking about if you hit somebody with the light in conversation, if only you could do that in real life. Like, this conversation, wrap it up, because I'm checked out. Like, that would be so useful.
Oh my gosh, that is a great perspective on that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there are times where you're just like, okay, how do you respectfully tell someone, I'm over what you're saying right now?
Mm-hmm. Well, your family's great at it. Your family's like, I totally missed the point. I checked out 2 minutes ago. I didn't realize you were still talking to me.
Yeah, I feel like we're pretty brutally honest about
my family's not.
that.
My family will like politely tune out and then just continue with whatever their idea was.
Right.
It's really
and then
annoying.
if they can tell that you're tuning out, they get more animated and they go longer with the story.
Yeah, they'll just add some extra flash and flare to the story that I'm still not listening to.
Right.
Yeah, that's fun. But failing forward,
let's
talk about it.
Yes. What was your failing forward this week?
So last night I went up on stage and it was the first time in weeks, maybe a month even. I took some time off.
You took a lot of time off.
And we'll talk about that later when things actually come to fruition. But for now, that's hush hush. Yeah, basically, I went up on stage, did not have any punchlines to my premises, kind of anticipated to fail, but I was looking to be funny in between and like find a punchline.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked out. I got a lot of laughs. I think that there were some jokes that bombed and need to be reworded.
Mm-hmm.
But generally speaking, for how I expected it to go, fucking could not be happier. So
yeah, which is great, actually. I mean,
it's the essence of failing forward. Because I went in, I went outside of my comfort zone. Usually I have punchlines written and I have everything verbatim.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do that this time. I was actually more interactive. I felt like it was more conversational, and I did find some like funny punchlines that now I have written into the joke.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about that.
I know, that's great. And I feel like, you know, with our failing forward, it just keeps us accountable for actually learning the lesson and then being intentional about that.
Yep. So show up with intention. That was my big takeaway.
Yeah.
So what'd you fail at?
So my failing forward ties into the theme of our episode of Bachelor and Bachelorette Parties. I hosted and attended my first bachelorette party this last weekend, and what an event it was. It was so beautiful. I enjoyed every minute of like planning and being part of it, and to actually see it come to life was like super fun for me. Also shout out to my mom, Mitzi Mertz. You are a godsend, and you deserve all the credit in the world, and I just really appreciate all the help and the guidance. I learned so much from my mom. She should be an event coordinator. But planning a freaking party is hard. Like, let me just put that out there. Like, planning a party with multiple things throughout the day, it's a lot. And I have such an appreciation for it now, especially for like event coordinators or wedding party planners. Like, oh my gosh, that job is insane.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually insane. But
you have to be so organized for it.
No, you have to be very detail oriented, organized. I mean, it's basically like a project manager. Like, you are a project manager.
And so are you.
Yeah, and now I am too. But I just have so much appreciation for those types of people and for those positions that people play. So anyway, that's not where my failing forward is. My failing forward is I got so caught up in the planning that I had to make sure that the day of everything was set up, and I did not leave enough time to have myself get ready and pick up the bride and take her to her own bachelorette party, which for me is just very on brand because I tend to be late to a lot of things in my personal life. I'm not going to say, you know,
just most things.
Yeah, just most things. I tend to be fashionably late. But for this, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, how did I not leave enough time to take the bride to her own damn bachelorette party?
How late were you, if you had to estimate?
Fashionably late to me is like 5-10 minutes. We were 20 minutes late.
I think that's actually fashionably late.
Oh.
So like if you're throwing a party,
yeah,
right, and you're with the guest of honor, you don't want your guest being the very first one there.
Yeah.
You want everybody there to receive them. So if you're a little bit late, I know it's not a surprise party, but it makes sense to roll in like, okay, everybody's here. Everybody's ready. What's up, bitches? We're here.
Exactly. I know. And I mean, the way that we came in was super fun. And I think we were definitely like, we livened up the party once we arrived, obviously, because she's the bride. Yeah, exactly. But I that is a learning lesson for me going forward is I really need to track my time a little bit better when it comes to those kind of events. And how I will be doing that is I need to either be lied to by my friends if like it starts 30 minutes earlier, or two, I just need to be intentional with my time. Like, I know how to be on time because I've been on time to very important things in my life. So it's like I can do that with events like this going forward.
Let's talk about this for a second. Were you born on time, late, or early? Like from your due date?
Oh.
Do you know?
I actually don't know that.
Okay, because I was born early, I think. I might be getting this totally wrong, and my mom's going to like fact check me after this. But I'm pretty sure I was born early, and I love to be early to everything.
Yeah.
Part of that's also ingrained in me because my mom is late to everything, just like you.
Yeah.
And it stresses me out so much that I'm just like, I'll get there early.
Right.
Shit, I'll wait 30 minutes in the car if I have to.
I know you love being early.
Yeah.
Like 30 minutes early. It stresses me out. See, I don't like waiting. That's my thing. That's my pet peeve is I hate waiting. And I would rather be late, but then I'm making other people wait. So it's just like I'm being selfish in that regard. But anyway.
Yeah, is your time not more valuable than theirs? What's going on here?
I mean, at the end of the day, that's probably what's going on. But all that to say, we have failed forward, and the takeaway is be intentional with your time.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So moving into the exciting part of this episode, we have a couple different segments that we want to talk about with Bachelor and Bachelorette parties. I personally have learned a lot from the bachelorette party that I planned and attended.
Mhm.
But I was very curious to see what other people's thoughts were on bachelor and bachelorette parties that they've attended and what their takeaways were from that. So we posted on Instagram a poll, or not even a poll, it was just a question.
Yeah, it's like a Q&A type response.
Yeah, Q&A. What are your do's and don'ts for a bachelor and or bachelorette party? And so we wanted to read some of the responses out on this episode and then talk about it.
Okay.
So the first one is bachelorette party in Miami equals red flag.
Why is that? Like, do you feel that way?
I'm trying to understand why this person would say that.
I have two reasons already in my mind.
Yeah,
okay?
What is it?
As an insecure man, okay, you've got these hot, jacked Cuban dudes walking around and a lot of coke, and that's Miami. Like, bachelorette party, you don't want your lady going there with all of her friends, and if she has friends that you don't trust, and
Yeah.
I don't like Sarah, okay?
Mhm.
Like, Sarah's scandalous.
Yeah.
She's going to get those hot Cuban dudes over here in this little booth.
Yeah.
They're going to be partying with you guys all weekend.
Right.
That insecure dude inside of me is already thinking about that scenario, and it's like, nightmare, nightmare, nightmare.
Yeah. No, totally. I can see how that's a nightmare. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't personally want my bachelorette party to be in Miami, just one, because it's so far. Yeah. No, that's like not a place that I would want to have that. I want to go visit Miami just as a vacation, but not for a bachelorette party. I feel like that would be a lot and super expensive.
Yeah.
But I think for me, if I knew you were having your bachelor party in Miami, I mean, yeah, that would put some red flags. I would immediately think strippers.
That's a bachelor party, is it not?
Yeah, no, it is. But I mean, Miami is like...
It's not Atlanta.
Miami has the most beautiful people in the world.
Yes.
Like, the most beautiful people. So I think in general, when you're going to Miami for a bachelor or bachelorette party, yeah, I think my hackles go up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to be a little bit insecure, and I may just follow you there. And I may just suggest a co-ed bachelor and bachelorette party.
We'll talk about that one. The answer is no.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that if you have your bachelor or bachelorette party in Miami, it is a red flag.
And probably really fun.
And yeah, and probably super fun. Okay, next one. Don't bang a stripper.
Now, does that go for everybody in the party, or is that just the people that are actually involved in the wedding? Like, the groom or the bride? What about, like, the groom's best friend who's single and wants to bang a stripper? Is that okay?
I think in general, it's just not a good idea to bang a stripper.
Why is that, Kenzie? That sounds like there's a little bit of bias towards the stripper people.
No, I mean, I think the strippers are there to take your money.
Mm-hmm.
They look at you with dollar signs and only dollar signs.
There's
and
no
if
love.
you bang a stripper, you're paying a shit ton of money for it, and it becomes prostitution at that point.
It's true.
It's not a stripper.
You can accomplish a lot more in one sushi date.
Yeah,
I just economical.
Yeah, I don't think that's... I don't think it's right to bang a stripper at a bachelor or bachelorette party, but to teach his own.
Yeah, I don't think you should bang strippers in general. I have nothing but respect for people after their money and they're getting after it, but it's not for me. I look at them through the side of my eye and I don't trust them.
But okay, so let's then ask a follow-up question to this.
Okay.
Banging a stripper is out. We shouldn't be banging strippers at bachelor and bachelorette parties.
Now it's out. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So would you still want a stripper at a bachelor or bachelorette party? And this goes for both, like male strippers or
all right.
female
I'm
strippers.
having flashbacks of Miami all over again. As the insecure man picturing a greased up hunk in a thong, like dancing on my lady, swinging his dick around, I would not be happy about that.
Yeah.
In fact, I would actually be upset about that. In any other circumstance, it's not okay for me.
Right.
So for this one circumstance where it's like, oh, it's her last hurrah. No, I'm not stoked on that.
Yeah, no, and that's the same for me too.
I feel the same for me. Like, I already don't like strippers. I look at them as less than people. But besides the point, no, I wouldn't want to disrespect you or our relationship that way. So I'd be radically uncomfortable if like a stripper popped out of a cake at my bachelor party and it would immediately be like, sorry guys, not for me. You go enjoy.
Right.
I would be sitting there going, Kenzie's going to be so pissed.
Right. And
Am I a broken man for thinking that way?
I don't know. I do think though that your opinion is not the norm of strippers. Like I honestly think that. I really feel like most guys would want a stripper at their bachelor party or like secretly want it and not say it. The thing, I actually do trust you when you say that.
Because I don't like strip clubs.
Yeah, you don't even like them. You don't like to go to them anyway. Like you've never been you never have been a fan of it.
I've never been like, hey boys, let's go to the strip club.
Right.
Let's go spend money on women we can't touch. Like, let's all get
well, you
boners.
can.
No.
But
here's the weird part about
it costs a lot of money.
It does cost a lot of money, but like the idea of going to the strip club with all of your boys and getting boners together is homoerotic, is it not?
Yeah, no, I mean it's a little. I don't understand it.
It's a real silent car ride home.
Right.
We're gonna talk about it after, like, wow, boys.
Like, how much money did you spend?
Yeah, no, that has actually been the conversation leaving a strip club with my friends, because some of them are gullible, and they're like, oh, it's my first time, and because they're gullible, strippers immediately like latch onto that. You're a mark to them.
Yeah.
And they're like, if you want to have some more fun, like we can go in the private room. And they're like, oh, the private room. What happens there? You shill out a couple $100. 25 minutes goes by. You think something crazy is happening. They come back. It's like, well, that was $600 for a nothing burger.
Yeah. No, they get you excited. It's a scam.
Well, they know guys are dumb.
Right.
You can take advantage of them.
Like, they only look at you as dollar signs. And some guys like that. They're like, yeah, no, I know they only look at me as a dollar sign. I just like what I see, and I want that experience. But
I think that is the tease for them. It's like, I'm paying for this isn't happening.
Yeah. It's the same thing with gambling, in my opinion, of like, you know you're going to lose money. It's like very rare that you're actually going to win money. And so you're essentially paying for the experience of just gambling.
You shouldn't be gambling if that's how you think about gambling.
No, but that's, I mean, yes, like that is true. But I'm just saying that's how I look at it with strip clubs is you're paying for the experience knowing that it's a lose-lose situation for you.
Okay. I think about strip clubs the same way I think about arcades. Okay, you're going there, you're spending money. There is no chance of getting anything of value back. And you can't bring the game home with you. So you're just spending money to play the game, but you don't get to actually bring it with you.
Yeah. Moving on to the next one, it said, do have a theme.
Ooh.
Do you agree with that? Do you think that you should have a theme at a bachelor or bachelorette party?
Only for women.
Really?
Men don't need a theme. What is the theme of a men's bachelor party? All right,
well, look at what you're wearing right now. It's clearly a theme for you.
Let's get tropical. This is most guys in their 20s going out shirt. Okay. Like, just wear some kind of Hawaiian style shirt, look ridiculous, do your hair, don't look like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
All right, boys, we're going out. This could be worn on the golf course. This could be worn at my buddy's tropical wedding.
Right.
Vegas. It could go a lot of places. This is a standard going out shirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do think for women, it sets the tone, what kind of theme that you're having. And the theme that we had at the bachelorette party was Last Disco. And because the bride was actually missing Stagecoach, I wanted to incorporate a little bit of that theme into it. So I brought cowgirl hats. We did kind of like a glitz and glam. I honestly combined all the themes because I was like, why not?
Did the strippers theme match?
No, the strippers theme did not match, and the strippers were not involved at all in this bachelorette party.
Oh, there weren't any.
No, there were there were no.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, there were no strippers at this bachelorette party, but I feel like I combined a lot of the different themes together, but it was mostly like disco. Like that was the idea of it. And honestly, it just sets the tone for like party, fun, dress up. Like I just think it's what is the vibe. You know? There's really fun themes like PJs and Prosecco, or like Till Death Do Us Part, and then you wear all black. Like what I'm wearing right now is kind of like a theme of RIP to the single life.
I like
Which
that.
I actually don't understand that, because RIP to the single life, you were with that person. You weren't single before. This is what I don't understand about the Bachelor and Bachelorette, of like, her last hurrah. What do you mean, my last hurrah? What do you mean, my last hurrah? I am still going to party with you ladies. The same way that I have been in a relationship for the last 7.5 years is the same way that I'm going to be in a relationship with you when I'm married.
Yeah, because you're thinking through your experience. The general experience, like up until probably the last 200 years or 100 years, like women would be courted, sometimes by multiple men, where it's like, I, my lady, am very interested in you, and I give you this wonderful ring, and I hope that you'll be my beloved. And then I go off to battle and I die. And another dude comes along and does the same thing. And there's like these tokens that you give. And that's kind of where the ring, like an engagement ring, originates. It's like, this is my symbol of love, right? So if there are multiple men that are interested in you, but as a chaste young female who's locked up in her daughter's castle, you're actually not allowed to go interact with the peasants and hang out a lot. So we don't have conversation. I don't get to know you.
Okay.
Like I write you love letters from afar, and we romanticize this idea of what we are. But when it comes down to it, I don't know you. You don't know me. There's multiple guys going after you. And it's kind of a business deal with the families. And, you know, dude whose family has the most to give is usually going to be the one who's actually like, all right, you two are getting hitched. The endowment is huge.
So then is she considered single?
Yes.
That entire time that they're... Well, yeah, so then that's back in the day. But I guess in modern day...
Yeah, courtship doesn't really exist. It's
it does.
Not.
Right. Like, I think that's where I get confused. It's like, I wasn't single before this, necessarily.
Yeah. Some women think that way. Like, oh, there's no ring on my finger, I guess I'm single. And those women don't get married. So those women are left to be alone and sad and think that all men are bad in their 30s. So
yeah, I've always just wondered that concept of the last hurrah.
Is it the death of like your tax status? Like, I don't understand.
Well, yeah, maybe,
last name?
The death of your tax status.
Like, your last hurrah.
I mean, yeah, the death of your last name, that is a big one.
Is it? How do you feel about that? Like, losing your parents' last name and taking on mine?
I mean, it's the name I've always had and have always known.
Same.
And, I mean, I'm even called by my last name. Like, people call me Mertz.
I think people would still call you Mertz even
I think they, yeah.
Change your last name to Prague.
Yeah, I think Mertz will still be incorporated in my name. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It is a big deal. I also know people that just don't change to, their last name at all.
Not changing your last name at all unless you're like a professional public figure and that's how people know you seems a little offensive. Like, do you come from like royalty or family and like that's why you want to keep that last name? What's the significance of that?
Okay, but let me ask you, would you change your last name to mine?
Absolutely not.
Right, so it's tradition, obviously, to do that, but the guy doesn't have to change shit.
Right.
That's not fair, in my opinion.
It's not.
Right.
I disagree with you. I don't think it's fair, but I'm not changing my last name to yours.
Right, and I wouldn't ask you to. So I think that's why when you get upset...
Well, let's address this underlying question, because there is something to that. Why is it that when a woman changes her last name to the man's last name, that's traditional, that's totally fine and acceptable? If a man were to do that, is he kind of like a shell of a man? Because it's not nice to think that way. But I do think socially it's not okay to do that. Like, everybody will give you shit like, oh, you took your wife's last name. Like, she's the breadwinner. She's the one who makes the decisions. Clearly, she made you lose your last name. Like,
yeah,
you got no balls.
I mean, I would never ask you to change your last name to mine at all. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah, and I don't even know if a lot of men do that.
Very rare. I don't know anybody.
Yeah, I don't know anyone that has done that before, but I mean, I do.
Happened. It's not zero.
Yeah, I do know more women that just haven't changed their last name. But let's keep going down the list. Dick-shaped straw hats or don't at me was one of the responses.
Gay.
Right. I think at a bachelor party, if it was for a straight guy, I think that wouldn't.
It would be hilarious.
It would be hilarious, actually.
There were so many of my friends who would be, number one, totally down and like, oh, I'm drinking through the dick straw. I don't care. And then the other half would be like, absolutely not. Like, don't put that anywhere close to me.
Yeah. I honestly, I wanted it. I wanted that to happen at this last bachelorette party, but it wasn't the vibe. It wasn't I had to read the room a little bit. It wasn't the energy of the girls that were attending.
Well, it's a very Christian style bachelorette party, I would say.
Yeah, no, definitely was. But I have to say that I love a good, like, penis-shaped straw looking thing.
On the edge there. Let me say, I love a good, thick, strong, veiny straw.
No, I just think that type of stuff is fun. Like, I think it's funny, and I think it's fun, and I just love it. Like, I just think it's a good time to have decor like that. Do I think it should be like the whole, yes, decor, not decor. Yeah. But I don't think it should be like taking up the entire theme of the party. But I think like
penises.
Like I don't think it's tacky. Like I personally think it's a fun add-on.
Mm-hmm.
And
where does the line stop on that? It goes from like funny haha penises to tacky penises.
The tacky penises to me are the ones that look too realistic.
Really?
I would get yeah. Like I'm like just like have it here and there and have it be like fun and playful. But don't give me something that actually looks like a dick. Like I don't like that's where I'm like
threatening.
If it we can move. Yeah, I'm like I don't necessarily need that at the bachelorette party because then it's like then that's the theme essentially. Like
your last penis.
Yeah, your last penis.
Well, I'm good off all that penis talk.
Yeah.
The cock talk. It's over.
And then I just had like a couple do's or don'ts that I wanted to talk to you about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is one question that I had. If you bail out of a bachelor or bachelorette party after already committing, at what point is it inappropriate to not pay your portion? Because you've already committed.
Okay, so I already committed. I RSVP'd.
You RSVP'd. Like, now that you've RSVP'd and committed, you are considered a number, like, that is contributing.
You're in the budget.
Yes. Okay, yeah. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. You're in the budget.
Okay.
So, at what length of time is it inappropriate to not pay your portion?
Are there any bench players that are going to take my spot?
No.
There's no other friends who maybe could make it, but oh, sorry, we can only fit 10. Okay. You got to pay. If you committed to it, you RSVP.
You don't have like a time frame?
Well, how many months are we talking? Or is it weeks? Is it days?
Well, that's what I'm asking. At what time is it inappropriate to not pay your portion? So, like, if it's like...
I'm going to say 4 months.
4 months?
You have 4 months
to
get your financial situation in order to figure that shit out.
So that means that you have to tell the party and send your invites.
And nobody does that, by the way.
Like 4 months in advance.
Yeah. So let's be more realistic.
Yeah. So let's just say it's 2 months away.
Bachelor party's 2 months away. I've RSVP'd. I'm going. Something comes up.
And the RSVP was like, okay, a month before. We want all of the RSVPs in.
Okay.
So now it's 4 weeks till the bachelorette party.
Okay.
After you've already had a month to commit.
Yeah, you got to pay.
You just think you have to pay, no matter what.
If you have some kind of extraneous circumstance like a parent dies or like something crazy like that, okay, maybe there's some wiggle room there.
Right.
Like it has to be extreme, but if it's like, hey man, I really didn't look at my budget and I can't really afford it now.
Right.
Like I got to bail. I'm so sorry. Fuck you. Like you had time to figure that out. You said yes, and you're probably prioritizing other shit. You're probably still going out to eat, probably still buying beer. Like if I see that kind of stuff on somebody else, I think that's rude.
Yeah.
Personally. So
I would
think
agree.
If you commit to it and somebody has put all the time and effort and work into like actually inviting you, counting everything, get everything booked, yeah, you have to pay.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I do think it is inappropriate to have time to commit, and then you're selfishly prioritizing other shit. So now everybody else has to pay more.
Yeah.
After the budget has already been like distributed. Agreed upon and distributed. Yeah, I definitely, I think, and that's with any event. Like now that I've been on the other side of coordinating something, I do think about how I'm going to be way more on top of like paying people early and RSVPing. RSVPing is huge. Like I did not understand the importance of RSVPing by a certain date until this. I honestly, did not understand the importance of it.
So RSVPing is French for réservez s'il vous plaît. Means reserve please. And it's basically a formality. It's not a request. It's a formality of you're either coming or you're not because we're trying to construct a budget. We need to know how many people to take account of, and if you're not showing up, let us know. That's part of RSVPing. You can RSVP yes or no.
Right.
Yeah. That's the entire purpose of it. So if you have an event and you don't have an RSVP to it and it's open-ended, if somebody bails last minute, that's on you for not having an RSVP system in the way too. That's a big part of it.
Totally. Yeah, I do think like RSVP early and pay on time. Okay, and the last do or don't that we have is, should you do a co-ed Bachelor Bachelorette Party?
Nope. Hard no.
And I think yes. So we will debate this a little bit because I think the way that I would construct a co-ed Bachelor or Bachelorette party is super rad. It would be really fun. There would still be separation. And I also think it matters if the couple has a lot of mutual friends or not. If you don't have a lot of mutual friends, I can totally understand why you would want to have complete separation. That would not make sense to combine it. But because for us, we do have a lot of the same friends and their significant others are also friends with us, it makes sense for us to have a really big celebratory time with our friends. And I would love that personally. So I don't necessarily need the whole weekend to be together. I don't think that, because I think guys and girls, they want to do separate things.
Yeah.
Like for a dude, I'm sure they want to do golfing. They want to do, maybe some gambling. Like there's just different things that dudes would want to do. Yeah, exactly. Strip clubs, whatever. If you had a weekend, you were going to the same place. Let's just like say Vegas, for example.
Yeah. The
guys will do the guy stuff. The girls will do the girl stuff for most of the weekend. You're staying in separate rooms. Like I'm not saying that it should be together at that point. However, I do think at like the very last day, maybe that's when everybody comes together.
Isn't that when you just go home?
No, the very last day. It could be the very last night.
Okay.
Everybody comes together. We do a big dinner. We do basically a huge pregame together. And then we still go our separate ways. And then the next day when we're all going home, you're with your significant other or you're with your partner or with whatever. You all can like you're with your friends basically.
Okay.
And you guys can like do your separate stuff, but you reunite at the end.
It really just sounds like Sunday after a bachelor party to me. The way you're describing it sounds like we went to Vegas. Maybe we went separately and stayed at different hotels and did different shit all weekend. And then somehow magically on Sunday, we're next to each other on the flight.
The only reason guys really want a bachelor party to be completely separate from girls is because they want to meet new girls when they're out and they want strippers. Like that is what I imagine.
Not true, but accurate somewhat. Not for me, but I would say yes. If you were to look at a bachelor party in the movies, aside from all of that, it's like, okay, we want strippers, we want to run into a group of bachelorettes. Like that's the ultimate like crossover, I think, in the movies or what I imagine.
Just not your bachelorette.
No,
your,
but
your
I'm
wife's,
saying like
your future wife's bachelorette party.
But if hypothetically speaking, you and a bunch of friends, minus the bride, are single, and you're out at like bachelorette time, having a blast, everybody's drunk, Stacy's throwing up in the Uber, and then you run into a equally single, minus the groom, bachelor party.
Right.
You guys meet at the club, all of a sudden it's like, okay, we're paired off ones and ones, we're dancing, we're having a great time. I'm never going to see these people again. Like that's fun for them, right? That is why, if you're single, that sounds ideal. That's what you're hoping for. When we go out with some of our single friends, they're hoping that we run into like single women that they can pair off with and then disappear.
Right.
So, yeah, that makes total sense to me. Not something I'm advocating for mine. Don't care to have strippers either. But the separate aspect of a bachelor party to me, some of my friends are degenerates. Some of my friends want to go gamble for 12 hours straight. All of us are going to drink and be shitty. And I imagine doing that in front of women is kind of embarrassing. So they don't want to show that side and at least not be judged for it. And I know that around the boys, you can laugh at your friend who's like down $1,000 on the blackjack table and also pissed his pants and like cannot hold himself together for the weekend, you get to make fun of him.
Mm-hmm.
If there's women around, now he's actually shamed and embarrassed, and there's some guilt there. Versus like, okay,
Yeah, I
take
can
it away.
I can understand that.
Yeah,
And yeah, that's why I can be persuaded to just have a bachelorette party. I think it's because we do have mutual friends and
most of our friends are mutual friends.
right. So I think that's where for me I am like, you know, that's why I would want to have a big celebratory event together.
Mm-hmm.
But I also understand the separation. I think it's because a lot of my friends, like, it's not like a big group of girlfriends that I have. Like, it is separate groups within this group of friends that I have, and they don't all know each other. They don't all hang out. And I have
Not a good
definitely,
mix either.
yeah, I don't know if it would be a good mix. Like, I really don't know. And I think that's for me is like, I want to have the best time
Mm-hmm.
at my bachelorette party, which is why I think having a combined bachelor and bachelorette party, like, that would be fun for me. Like,
That's
I
really
would,
just going out with our friends for a weekend and planning it.
no, but everybody, like, if everybody was involved, I would feel more comfortable with that.
Yeah.
And that's why I have some hesitation is because, like, I don't know if I'm going to have the best time if I were to invite every single,
Girlfriend.
like, girlfriend
Because they don't mix.
together. Right.
Well, that's how all of my dude friends. Half of them don't mix well at all, and I still mix
But
them.
see, I want to have the best
Which is
time
hilarious.
I want to have the best time at my bachelorette party.
Yeah.
I want to have the best time. I don't want to have all this money go towards it to not have a good time.
Totally.
That's,
Totally understandable.
yeah. So I think that's where I'm coming from, and I guess we can kind of end on that, and we can continue the conversation too, because I know that we are in the age where we are going to be attending a lot more bachelor and bachelorette parties and weddings in general. Like, we have another wedding coming. We have 2 weddings this year. I'm like super excited about it, and it's with both of our like best friends. Like, I'm super stoked about that.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to get some experience under our belt. Like, I'm sure we'll have more do's and don'ts in the future, but yeah, I think we can table that and save it for another conversation.
Hell yeah.
Let's get into our next segment, which is what we are calling Google Trivia. And this is where we have very common questions that we're curious about with bachelor and bachelorette parties, and then we Google the answer. First question we have, number 1 place to have a bachelor or bachelorette party. So first of all, what do you think the number 1 place is for a bachelor or bachelorette party?
I'm going to go with Des Moines, Iowa.
Maybe you do bachelor party and I'll do bachelorette party.
Okay.
Because I think they might be separate. I'm not sure.
So maybe not Des Moines, Iowa. I'll retract that answer. Maybe
Okay.
Vegas is the easiest. It's the lowest hanging fruit.
Yeah.
For a bachelor party. For a bachelorette, probably Palm Springs.
For a bachelor party.
For a bachelor party, Vegas. For a bachelorette, Palm Springs.
Interesting. I would have not put Palm Springs on there. So for a bachelor party, I'm definitely going to say Vegas, or Miami.
Okay. Or Atlanta, the strip club capital of the world.
Oh my God. I totally forgot about Atlanta too. That's a good one too.
Yeah. Cheeks for weeks.
Yeah, I think, ooh, that is a good one.
curveball there.
Bachelor party. Let's lock in Atlanta, actually. I think that's actually a great answer. Bachelorette party, Scottsdale. It has to be Scottsdale.
Fucking forgot about Scottsdale.
Honestly, I've considered maybe having my bachelorette party there just because it's
Bougie.
it's bougie, it's hot, it's fun, there's pool parties,
I always forget about Arizona as like a destination. I feel bad.
it totally is a destination. Okay, so let's look it up.
What is the number 1 place to have a bachelor party and then a bachelorette party? And is it the same or is it different?
Okay, so for a bachelor party, it is Las Vegas.
Yeah.
It says, and this is by U.S. News Travel. Las Vegas, immediate, arguably the most renowned bachelor party destination in the U.S. Okay, so now let's change this to bachelorette.
And while you're looking that up, what comes to mind for bachelor parties in Vegas is basically a gang of guys, usually 5 to 7, all wearing kind of shitty, long sleeve button downs that they got at Ross or TJ Maxx. And they're like, Vegas isn't ready for us.
Oh my gosh.
What
Okay,
is the answer?
It's freaking Vegas again for Bachelorette Party, which is extremely interesting. But this one article from Stag and Hen, I don't know if it's super trustworthy, but it says that the top 15 most popular Bachelorette Party destinations. We surveyed over 1,000 women to find out what the most popular Bachelorette destinations are.
How many of those women sucked?
I mean, well, clearly not. I mean, Vegas would be fun.
Well,
Okay, so
how many
number
people
one is
respond to surveys.
true. Number one is Las Vegas. Number two is Nashville. I kind of forgot about Nashville. Number three, Miami. 4, Mexico. 5, Charleston. I'm actually surprised that most of the articles that I'm reading on here, none of them have Scottsdale. None of them.
Maybe it's a hidden gem they want everybody to forget about.
Yeah, maybe.
Go.
Yeah, maybe. That is very strange. Okay.
Next one.
Moving on to the next question. Which season do Bachelor/Bachelorette parties happen the most?
Summer. I think getting married either in the spring or the fall makes the most sense. Summer's the easiest time for people to travel. The sun is out. It's beautiful. It's great for drinking.
I think spring.
Okay. I feel like spring's hit or miss on weather, though. It could be rainy. A lot of people don't want that.
According to Google,
Okay.
it says 43% spring and 42% summer.
For
So I win.
parties.
Yeah, for the parties.
Yeah.
When do the most parties take place?
Yeah. You win by 1%.
By 1%. So spring. I mean, obviously spring and summer. That was kind of a obvious one, but
I think it's kind of a rude move to do one in the middle of December where it's like, hey, the weather might be shitty. I don't know if our flights are going to get canceled.
unless you all live in the same place and you're already in like a really cool destination for a bachelorette party, but
Even then,
Yeah.
weather's not as nice.
okay, the next question. What is the average amount of money people spend on a bachelor or bachelorette party? What do you think it is?
Are we doing destination or is it going to be a city local to the United States?
I think we can do both.
I'll split the difference, 1,200 to 1,500.
For a destination?
For both, yeah.
Oh, for both?
Yeah.
Okay, so 12 to 1,500. Okay, so I think if it's a day, I think the average is probably like 500. But if it's a weekend, it's probably 1,000 to 1,500. So
500 a day is probably.
yeah.
Makes
So I'm just gonna say I'll just do like 1,000 as the average. So the knot is where I'm getting this information. What's the average cost of a bachelorette party per person? Our study from 2023 found that the average cost is $1,300.
Boom.
Wow,
Called it.
that's a lot. I mean, that's basically like a vacation.
Well, it is. Most of the time it's a weekend away. You're going somewhere cool. Vegas is expensive. You're going to spend on booze, travel, hotels, or Airbnb. Food's pricey.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot. And that's the thing is like if you are going to make your bachelor or bachelorette party a weekend, freaking make it fun.
Mhm.
Honestly, like make
be a
it
bitch.
fun. Yeah, don't be a bitch. Don't be a bridezilla or I don't know what you would call the
The groom
the
when he's acting
groom.
out. A bridezilla.
Yeah, like I don't know. I just feel like make it fun for people. And I mean you do kind of have to consider people.
Mhm.
I think where you can get selfish is you want to make sure like other people are not having like being downers during the entire weekend. Like that's a big thing too is if you are going to commit to something like this, freaking have a good time. Be the life of the party. Do not be a Debbie Downer the entire trip.
Yeah.
Because guess what? When it comes to your turn of when you're going to have a bachelor or bachelorette party and you are being a downer at somebody else's, do not expect other people to be hyped for you.
Bring your A game. If you show up and you are a bummer, I have no problem leaving that person in the dust.
Yeah, I think that you need to bring some life.
Yeah.
Like expect a party, expect to like don't just show up and be like, "Oh, I'm showing up." No, show up with some energy.
Mhm.
Like I need some energy from people at my bachelorette party. I want everyone to be having a good time because guess what? I will be showing up to your party full of energy, ready to celebrate you.
And hungover after and in mess.
And extremely hungover.
I will rally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I that is just something that I wanted to call out because
But 1,300 is I think, reasonable. And if
Yeah.
you give people more than enough time to plan and prepare, you can put together that money. So
Totally. Yeah. If you give people maybe like 4 to 5 months ahead of time, I think that people can definitely save up the money for that. Okay. Well, that concludes our Google trivia with the Bachelor and Bachelorette Edition.
oh yeah,
Our next whoa.
I'm listening.
Our next segment and our final segment is if we were to have a Bachelor and Bachelorette party in Reno, since that is where we are currently living, what would we do? How would
Get
we plan
divorced.
it? Oh, God. No.
All right. I'm going to put my glasses on for this. I'm going to go into party mode for a moment.
Okay. I'm excited.
The ideal bachelor party in Reno. With the boys. It's not co-ed. We got the presidential suite at the GSR. Okay.
At the GSR.
At the GSR. I like gambling there. It's my favorite casino out of all the casinos, highest rated for me. Don't be peeking at my notes about it. You're not allowed to go to Tahoe because we're in Reno. Okay.
Right. If it
Not
was, it's
snowboarding
not
in
Reno
summer.
Tahoe. It's a solely Reno bachelor party.
Presidential suite at the GSR. The boys are rolling probably 8 deep. We're going to gamble. We're going to hit the pool. And then we're going to go bar hopping. I don't give a shit about golf. And if it's about me, we're not golfing. Besides that, I know my friends are going to be degenerates. We're going to wind up drinking way too much. Hopefully somebody brings some great food. We make some awesome food. I don't really like going out to restaurants and a large
Awesome
group.
food.
Well, I'm talking
Where are you
about
making this
barbecue.
awesome food if you're at the GSR?
It's getting made, not by me. I don't care, but it's showing up. I'm going to have steak. Okay. Other than that, I'm going to get hammered by the pool. And then I really want to do that sandbox VR where you run around shooting zombies. I think that, maybe some booze. I think that sounds like a good time. At some point, I know a handful of my friends are going to fracture off of the group and they're going to find themselves at the Wild Orchid. There will be a rescue mission to go get them out of there, to go save them so that they don't spend more than $1,300 in that weekend. But I will not be participating in the Wild Orchid. I'll be at the Peppermint Hippo. Kidding.
That sounds like a lame bachelor party.
Probably.
I mean, you may want a co-ed bachelor or bachelorette party.
No, I just wouldn't do it in Reno. I know what I like to do in Reno. I'm not going to go to the same bars that I would. I'll stand on my lameness because I wouldn't do my bachelor party in Reno. Period. Period.
Well, if I were to do my bachelorette party in Reno, I would have it during the winter season.
Rude.
I would, because during the summer in Reno, it's too hot for me. I don't dirt bike. I don't ATV. We're not including Tahoe in this, so it does kind of take out what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
But if I am going to just keep it solely in Reno, it's going to be during winter because we can go to Mount Rose and we can do a full snowboarding excursion at Mount Rose for the day. We'll have espresso martinis.
Mm-hmm.
We would dress up in snow bunny outfits. We would just be like the total retro old 80s ski vibe.
With the ski suits.
Yep, with the ski suits. And we would do that all day. Then we would go back to either, you said the Grand Sierra. I think that the Peppermill Suites are really nice and fun
Mm-hmm.
and huge.
Yeah. I
And
just don't like gambling there.
no, I don't like, I mean, my bachelorette party, maybe we would gamble a little bit, but it wouldn't be like the focus of it.
Mm-hmm.
But we would go back to the Peppermill. We would have our presidential suite there. We would have a really nice dinner at the Bimini Steakhouse. And then we would just take a night out on the town. We'd be all dressed up. We'd go to Midtown. We'd go to downtown. We'd go to all the bars. We probably would go to the karaoke bar on 2nd Street.
We would probably run into each other there.
That's if we were doing a co-ed bachelor and bachelorette party. But because you're so against it, this is not the same weekend. So,
Right.
no, you are not part of it at all.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. I also would not have my bachelorette party in Reno. I think that Reno is a little bit lame to have a bachelor or bachelorette party. I'm not going to lie. I would not want to have it here. You got to go to the major cities.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go to Austin. You got to go to Nashville. You got to go to Scottsdale, New York, Miami.
Austin would be great for me for a bachelor party.
Oh, it would be great for you. You would
Awesome
love
barbecue, comedy. live music, drinking scene.
Totally. I think there are better places, and that's why Reno is not on the top 15 places to have a bachelor or bachelorette party.
I wonder if Des Moines, Iowa ranks higher than Reno or not. Probably not, because Reno has gambling.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I don't know. I feel like we always shit on Reno, and it makes me...
Well, let's not end on shitting on Reno.
Yeah.
Let's say something nice about Reno. Let's pretend Reno is our sweet, sweet love that we're serenading and saying goodbye. Let's say 2 nice things about Reno. Okay, this is like couples therapy, but for the place we live. Can you say 2 nice things that you like about Reno?
I love the people of Reno. I think the people of Reno are rad. I think that they're genuine human beings. Yeah, I, 1, love the people of Reno. 2, I love Reno sunsets. I think Reno sunsets are the most beautiful sunsets I've ever seen in my life. Desert sunsets beat any other type of sunset.
Okay. Now, can you tell Reno that you love it? Say, I love you, Reno. We're going to get through this.
What's yours?
I love Reno in many ways. I love it so much that I feel comfortable shitting on it. I, too, love the people. I think the people are very hardworking. I think that there is a labor of love that goes into this place. There is a work ethic that you cannot take out of it.
Mm-hmm.
There is a grease and a grime and a pride that comes with this territory. It's not even really a town or a city. It's a territory. It feels like the Wild West in many ways. I like that people are wild. And they are unique. They're playful. They're odd. And they're not like this buttoned up corporate blue collar, or white collar, not blue collar. They are blue collar.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not the buttoned up corporate style people of like Sacramento or the Bay Area.
Right.
Like there's a culture here that I really appreciate. The other thing that I do enjoy about Reno is the outdoors. There's legitimate nature in high desert. You can travel down to the river. We have green belts. It's not all dust. It's not all rolling hills, but it is beautiful. And I think the backdrop to those sunsets is top notch.
Mm-hmm. It totally is. Yeah. We love you, Reno.
Yeah. We love you, Reno. Good night.